Hey guys, I love what Josh and Brandy are doing. Give them a listen because I'm a huge fan. I'm Emery King and you are watching The Ego's Last Stand. The King has spoken. Hey y'all, keep on hitting home runs. Josh, love what you do. I'll see you soon.
When I come around, got the whole thing wobbing.
It is recording, and we're back for another episode of The Ego's Last Stand. I'm Josh Sardam, your host tonight, and this is the Quarantine Chronicles. And tonight, as I've been doing for the last 2 weeks, I've been interviewing nonstop all my friends, comedians, bookers, club owners, everybody I can get my hands on, wrestlers, anybody I can get my hands on to interview, see what their thoughts on what's going on. And today is no exception. It's a friend of mine out of Louisville, Kentucky, fellow comedian Mandee McKelvey. How you doing, Mandee?
Hi. Who have you? Wait, what? Okay, so what have you been interviewing everybody about?
Just everything that's going on. I mean, I'm obviously you and I aren't in clubs making people laugh because of what's going on with the Rona.
Yeah.
I've been talking to fellow comics about how they're handling it, what they're doing. Club owners, what their plans are, if they're sweating it or not. Bookers, same thing. I talked with Al Snow. He's up there in Louisville with you, and a fantastic wrestler, amazing individual, very smart guy, and just a fascinating conversation with him about wrestling. But so we just talk about stuff. So how are you handling the Rona?
Well, my day job is at a hospital, so that has completely it's erased the fact that I lost comedy completely. It's because it's like everything just ramped up to an 11, which is so strange because it's amazing. Like I worked, so hard at it for like 13 years just to get to a moderate level of being able to have a lot of shows booked and have a decent amount of work. And, it's just gone. It's just gone. But the weird thing is, I have a day job, and so now people are like, thank you for your service. And I'm like, no, I would not be here if I were not the product of a number of bad decisions. I would not be working here. No, I was supposed to be a full-time comic by now. I would not. I just fell on to this. Like, there is absolutely no reason I should have a full-time salary right now. Like, I should be like every other comic. I should be like, I'm going to die. I can't get food. I don't know when I'm going to work again. Like, I should not just have like a corporate job to fall back on because comedy didn't work out. But it's weird. It's kind of sucks though, because like, how, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but like, I don't multitask well. So once my day job got harder, I just sort of like stopped using my comedy muscle. And now I feel totally guilty and mushy and unfunny. And like, like if we all went back to comedy tomorrow, I think it would probably be another year before I got back up to where I was. Like, maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe it's just a muscle, like going to the gym.
First off, let me say, you said you were supposed to be a full-time comic by now, and you're not supposed to have something to fall back on. So first, all I'm going to say is, it sounds like you're a hell of a lot smarter than the rest of us. Actually had.
I tried to be as dumb as everybody else, and it didn't work out.
That you don't need to be as dumb as the rest of us. We've got that covered. But no. So are you a nurse, or what do you do at the hospital?
So here's my title. I'm the director of adjunctive therapy. So. I work at I've been at the same psych hospital for the same amount of time I've been doing comedy, like 13 years now. And same thing, like every day I was like, I'm going to quit this place. And then, and then you just don't. And then one day you get promoted. So that's what I did. And it was like comedy too. Like I was like, this isn't going well. And then something good would happen, that kind of thing. And so I I always stayed there because, number one, I felt weird not using my degree. Seemed like something to do. And number two, they were always really good with me about taking off work for comedy. They really kind of just didn't really demand a lot of my time, which that's not common in healthcare. Usually they demand a ton of your emotional labor there and outside of the hospital, but they were, it was just a good fit. And so now, yeah, so about 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, I took this director's position. And when coronavirus happened, I don't know what I thought was going to happen. I guess I thought we would shut down because I was like, well, we can't treat coronavirus because we're not that kind of hospital. We are, we do a lot of medical things, but, incidentally, not because it's medical. And then they were like, oh, yeah, here's our new situation. As the medical facilities fill up with COVID, we are going to be taking the walking wounded, just anybody that with small stuff that can be treated. And I was like, oh no, we are not equipped for that. Oh no, we are not equipped for that at all. And then something totally different happened. What happened was, because of Corona, they closed a bunch of homeless shelters and several halfway houses. And that, as you know, homelessness and substance abuse and mental illness go
hand in hand. So
we filled up. We completely filled up with people in recovery and a lot of homeless people who didn't have anywhere to go. And so Corona came with it, because when you have people who don't have resources for hygiene, Corona is going to come quicker. So Corona came quicker. It has not spread as much like wildfire as I would have thought. Right. We've been in it 2 months now, and we've had I think we've got like 60 employees on leave of absence. Some that are sick and some that are medically fragile, so they just can't be there. Yeah. And we're functioning. We're functioning like almost normal. And it is a very dystopian society, because like I go in, my hospital has 20 doors, that you can go in from the outside of the hospital, and for 2 months, they took all the locks off the outside of the doors, so we can't get in, so that we all have to walk all the way around the hospital and all funnel in one door. We go in, and they like laser gun us in the head and, ask us, this sort of like very robotic list of questions. And then we like scan our finger, and then we like spray down, and then like every hour on the hour, and it's a person who's doing it. So I don't know why she's being so creepy, but every hour on the hour, a voice will come over the speaker, over the page system in our hospital, and it will be like, attention all staff, it is now time to wash and sanitize your hands. Attention all, and then she'll just do that slow ass thing like a whole nother time. And every time she does it, I'm just like, that's a person. Like, she's just doing that on purpose. I mean, first of all, that's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing that she's doing that. But it is very strange because, we're all masked up, and, we're all just walking around, and it freaks out the patients. Our patients, a lot of them have psychosis. They do not, they already suffer with paranoia. Having everybody, covered, it freaks them out. and I've got a lot of patients with dementia. You know, one of the ladies tried to like pull my mask off. Like it's like a horror movie to them. And there's just, you know, we can't form relationships. You know, there's no trust. You can't, you know, you can't even smile or emote or show empathy. I'm learning all these new things to do with my body to express, like, I'm listening. Yeah, like I'm, you know, oh, you do.
I was walking through Kroger, and of course I mask up everywhere I go.
Yeah.
You know, you walk past somebody, and normally you smile and nod. You know, well, that's what I normally do.
Yeah.
I'm smiling and nodding, but now it just looks like, oh.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Saying to each person, I'm smiling. Just so you know, I'm smiling, and they're laughing. They're thinking it's funny, and I'm thinking this is nuts. You know.
It's weird. It's weird because, like, you know, Tyra Banks spent the early 2000s teaching me how to smize, and she has no idea the effect that she's had on me, because now I just try to like squint at people so that they can see that I've raised my cheeks at them.
Right.
That's all Tyra. I don't know. She prepared us for this future so long ago.
Brilliant. She's a genius.
She was ahead of her time, wasn't she? Yeah, I don't know if they just think I have something in my eyes or...
They're like, that poor girl, I think she needs glasses.
Yeah, she's so squinty. So squinty all the time.
Director Squinty's here.
I know, and they can't hear us. We're all just, you know, blah, 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 blah. They can't hear us. It's so strange, but it's even worse for because, you know, some of our departments have the kinds of, are not inpatient, they're outpatient, so they can do telehealth, you know, so they started doing, you know, FaceTime therapy instead of inpatient. And theirs isn't going any better because telehealth, number one, you know, so many of our clients do not have access to video and Wi-Fi. Sure. Number two, like one of my friends, all her kids are autistic. They meet with her to do like sensory experience. Right. They won't look at a screen. She's just TV to them. They won't like engage with her. So they're just, some of them are in their underwear, which is highly inappropriate to be FaceTiming with a child in their underwear. Yeah. A child you're not related to. Highly inappropriate.
I'd say so.
And it's just such a strange world. And then I'll just be going along like nothing happened. And then I'll get a message. I'll get like a Facebook message. And then it'll be something like, hey, I'm sure you know this, but that club you were looking forward to headlining next week, obviously we're going to have to cancel. And I will have already like had put it out of my head, you know, but then I'll receive the cancellation and then I just flip out. I was, the day that the shutdown happened, I was leaving on a 4-city tour, and I was like so jacked about it. I had 3 dates in Pittsburgh, 3 dates in Greensboro, a date in Nashville, and 3 dates in Memphis. And I was so excited. And then, you know, that was like just, you know, gone. And then was it last weekend? I was supposed to headline the Drop in South Bend for the first time. And I just kept being like, okay, you know, these are things I'll get back. I'll get back one day, you know. I didn't lose that forever. And then like a few days ago, I got an email from Indie Fringe saying that they had just completely canceled the Indie Fringe, which is at the end of August. And that they weren't like rescheduling it. They were just like canceling it for 2020 because it's like right in like on Mass Ave in Indianapolis, yeah, which I think was like kind of a hotbed for infection. And they were like, we're just, you know, basically we'll see you in 2021 next summer. And I don't know what it was about that one. I don't know if it was just the cumulative of all the cancellations, or if that one, because that one was 6 one-woman shows. So it was like 6 full hours of just me doing whatever I wanted for as long as I could, you know. But when that one came, it was weird. I was like, oh, this is grief. Like, this is what that is. Like, I kind of just like I was sitting in my office at work, and I kind of just like slid down into my chair, and I just kind of like cried, and I was like, oh, so this is, you know, like this is a thing. I've just been working, so I haven't really felt, you know, all that intense emptiness of not having comedy. And like, sometimes I'll just be talking to a person, and then I'll just think of something, and then I'll just say something really sad. Like, I'll be like, you know, I used to be a comedian. I did. I really did. And some people said I was pretty good. Some people paid me. They paid me to do it. Paid me.
I was at Big Lots last night. We're looking for some backyard furniture, and I said, you know, it's Mother's Day, so, you know, is there some type of discount you guys running today? And he goes, well, what do you do for a living? I said, well, I'm an out-of-work comedian. It hurt. It hurt to say.
Yeah, it does hurt. Because first of all, as a comedian, we're always out of work.
Right.
And second of all, like, now we can't even parcel together enough to notice, you know, that it's not even going that well. And I have learned about myself that I will not write if I don't have a deadline.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of people who just, their brain's always turning, and so they just write it down. Is that you? Oh God, I
can't stop.
That would be great. I absolutely not. I will not until I sit down and say to myself, what is this thing and how do I make it funny? And specifically go, I need to do a bit here. What is the bit here? And then I like focus. That is when I write. But if I don't have, you know, if I don't have impending doom coming my way, if I don't get something ready, then I don't create anything.
Yeah.
I did write my little porn. I wrote my erotica. Right when the shutdown first happened, you know, and everyone sort of like jumped online, like, okay, let's take it to the online and see what we can do here. A guy contacted me about doing a Facebook Live bit for the Louisville service industry for a fundraiser. And I was like, okay, but you know, I was like, it was my first time ever doing anything on like that. And so I was like, you know, I don't think it would feel very good at all to do stand up, you know, to silence. I mean, it was a live show. I couldn't even hear like, you know, a friend laughing. Right. Facebook Live. And so I was like, well, maybe if I just write something that's sort of like a bit or a sketch or something. So I wrote like an erotica, like a fanfic about Governor Andy Bashir. Where it's like, so it's basically like, you know, me trying to seduce him, but also follow the rules of social distancing. So I wrote like a whole sex scene, but where we're 6 feet apart and we don't touch, and then we go fight crime together, of course. But
fight crime together.
Of course, like how else is it going to end? But I wrote it. And I like got in like a sexy robe and like, you know, like filmed it in my bedroom. Like I was like a sexy, like dishy author, you know. And that was really fun because it was a big long piece that I wrote, and I think it was pretty full of jokes. But I only did that because somebody was like, I need you, and I need you to do it at this time. And then my body was like, that's what work feels like. Okay, now I will start to produce something. I just don't know if I get, you know, really nervous that like that muscle is all just gonna
Nah,
I'm not know how to do it.
I think you'll be okay.
It can be awkward.
Yeah, I think we're all gonna have to knock some rust off. That's for sure.
Ooh.
Yeah, so
I mean, if we go into the clubs and they're like, and they're like having to space everybody way apart, we can't make any energy. We're not going to know for so long what we're doing.
yeah, it's gonna be rough.
It's going to suck.
Yeah, a lot of people feel that way, and it's a lot of people feel the same way you about being motivated.
Really?
Yeah, there's a bunch of people that I just I can't motivate myself to do anything. It's like Joe Deuce and I were talking about that the other night, and I think it's just because we have so much time and we're normally moving all the time.
Constantly moving.
Yeah, now we're just kind of like, yeah, it's tomorrow.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not like I can go try it out if I write it, and I don't know what to talk about because I mean I feel like I'm just talking crazy talk anyway. Like we're all just we all just went through like a huge life shift, so everybody's just kind of just acting stupid anyway, and nobody knows what to do. Everybody's talking about the same thing. Everybody's in a bad spot in one way or the other, and I don't know, like. It's even when we're doing well, it's going to feel like we're bombing, I think, for so long. I'm glad we're all in it together, but I think some people will handle it a lot better than others.
Yeah.
Some people will tell jokes to nothing. It doesn't mean a thing in the world to them. That's just a way that they are. And I don't know what I am because I've never been in this spot before.
Well, I mean, none of us have, so that's a good thing.
Ooh, it's gonna be awful. And it is weird. I don't want to, but then I'm like, what the fuck am I saying? I gotta go to a hospital tomorrow. Like, I gotta go try to not get COVID again tomorrow. Like, I can't worry about writing a joke about my pussy right now. Like, what am I talking about? Like, my pussy can wait. Like, it will still be there, hopefully, in 2 months or whenever we get back on stage. But
I think that's interesting that what you do for a living, because I actually was a content expert in mental health disorders when I was a cop in Florida.
Oh, nice.
So I mean, I worked with mental health, inmates all the time.
So you were picking up people and taking them to the state facility and.
No, I was actually in the jail.
Were you really?
I worked in the jail. And
oh, shit.
I worked in an area called Safebook, and that's where all the drunks, crazies, combatives, they all came to me. And I had a doctor that would talk to them before they were allowed to go or be disseminated out to the compound somewhere. But I mean, yeah, I dealt with them all the time.
So, God, aren't you glad you're not there right now, Josh?
Yeah, I am because, it's a very dirty place to begin with. I mean, we tried our best to keep it clean.
Right.
The fact of the matter is a lot of those inmates are just anti-cleanliness. And so I mean, I don't want to.
The close quarters and it's just ripping through the prison system. Like ripping through the prison system. They can't contain it.
No, there's a great reason for that. They're just, a lot of them are just dirty and they don't know, talking about lowest common denominator, And I know exactly what you're talking about as far as, dealing with a mental health person, you're trying to communicate to them. And if you've got this on, I mean, that's going to be an issue. Absolutely.
It's so weird. And I feel bad because it seems to be happening to the people that were trying the hardest to follow the social distancing guidelines. We had a nurse get sick and I think she was the first person to wear a mask and has worn one the entire time. And was the most diligent about changing her gloves and everything. And she's a very healthy, physically fit person. So when she got it, I think we were all kind of oh, we're because we saw she was the model for what to do, know. And then when she got it, we were all just okay, well, I'm poor, so I guess I'll see you tomorrow.
It's been fun, y'all.
Yeah, like it'd be like, well, I could not come back here, but I'm poor, so I guess I'll just get called a hero. Come get COVID again tomorrow. Like, it is a little insulting to get called a hero when it's monetary based. It's
Well, I mean, you're putting yourself in harm's way.
Yeah, it feels dirty though, because it's like I don't want to. I don't want to put myself in harm. I'm poor, and they won't give me unemployment if I quit. So I just have to go to get money. So that feels less like a hero and more like an indentured servant.
Well,
hard to be a hero.
I understand both sides of that. We'll stick with hero, though.
Okay, we'll go with it for now.
So let me ask you this. This is something I've asked a lot of people that I've interviewed on here. Do you think we're getting the whole story? Do you think that what we're being told is 100% true and there's nothing else in the pipeline or being hidden from us? Because this is a worldwide lockdown.
Yeah, I do. Okay, here's what I think. Because I don't know what I think, because I feel like it changes every day, I feel like what I think is constantly, it was a mere 8 weeks ago that I was sitting outside of a bar with the rest of Character Assassination planning the next roast. And we were planning on doing a roast of coronavirus because we weren't shut down yet, but we were like, it was getting creepy. So it was enough on people's minds that we thought we should address it, but still not enough affecting our lives that we could, we had no problem just making fun of it. We didn't know what was on our hands yet.
Sure.
So we were sitting there planning, 6 weeks in the future, this roast of coronavirus. Boy, did we have the cast list wrong on that too. We had no idea the major players that were gonna emerge. And I was sitting there, talking to them, and I was like, hey guys, I'm on board for this because I love making fun of things, but I was like, I'm getting a little worried, you guys. Things are getting a little bit this and a little bit that. And one of the guys was like, bullshit, blah, 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 blah. And then another one was like, there has been some creepy stuff here and there. And then I remember the first day that somebody wouldn't hug me. And I was like, what the fuck's his problem? And then I was like, he's kind of weird. Now I'm like, ugh, genius. What a genius. And then the first day I saw somebody wearing a mask and I was like, okay, Howard Hughes, calm down, and so obviously, I know nothing and I'm just learning every day. But I think that here's what I think we don't know. I think we don't know anything about the numbers because I think all of that is being hidden so that government leaders are not held liable for mass murder. I do think that. I think that all of how bad it is being concealed in a number of countries. On a very small scale, there was a very brief period of time in 6 weeks or so ago when every state in the U.S. had documented corona cases except for one, and it was West Virginia. And so everybody kept being like, wow, what's going on wow, look at you, West Virginia. Well, it was maybe a week later, an article comes out. This woman who had crossed state lines to get help talked about how she and her husband were both COVID positive, but could not get tested, and he was literally dying, and she was driving him around to ERs, and they wouldn't even let him enter because they didn't want to have a COVID case. So anything that looked like a COVID case, they would deny you entry into the ER, not let you enter, kick you out, or if you came in and then they tested you and you had the symptoms, they would immediately try to transfer you somewhere else. And they would not provide tests. And that's how they didn't have a case when all the rest of us did. And they let her husband like literally go into respiratory failure. She had to cross state lines to get help. And she had it because she was his caretaker as well. And she was like driving him around. He was like dying in the car, and she was driving him around trying to get help. And they were going to let him die and just call it natural causes so that they would not have a corona case. And I was like, oh, I'm such an idiot. Like, they're not, that, of course, these places are not, they're not COVID free. They're just not COVID reporting.
Right.
That's what they're doing.
Like,
and like, so with that, I just think, you know, all the people that tried to downplay it, or all the people that had information and didn't share it or didn't take measures, they know they're liable for the most insane level of legal action when this is all over. And so everybody just has to say they didn't know anything, or they didn't have that information, or whatever. You know, North Korea doesn't have it. They're immune to it. They'll never get it.
They mainly don't have electricity either. So.
Exactly. They don't have anything. They don't have anything. But being in North Korea makes you immune to COVID. Also, because there was no tests, you know, I mean, the tests have only become accessible to anyone that I know in like the past week.
Oh,
we
really?
we didn't even have, I mean, we were all just running around being like, how would we know if we had it? Like, we couldn't get any access to them. So it's not that I think that I don't necessarily believe things are being hidden. I just believe nobody did anything. And now everybody's like, shit, not it. And then everybody's just playing stupid. And that's how we got in this mess. Everybody just.
Well, I mean, thankfully, I think we're ahead of it further along than, like, you know, Italy was, or, you know, some other places that got hit really hard. But we're one of the few places that are actually doing mass testing as well. So our numbers look worse than everybody else's. Like Russia's numbers, I think they're still under 1,000, and it's just like, really, you know. And China's like, we cured it. No, you didn't. No, yeah. You didn't. So I mean, yeah, I mean, it's just funny to watch what's going on. I mean, this is a first for all of us. Everybody in the world is locked down, and it's just very, very weird. I just think aliens are coming. No. Sorry, I have to say that. I'm under contract.
That was amazing when they released that UFO footage. Like, maybe this will assuage them for a while.
And everybody's just like, yeah.
Like, you really buried the lead there, but we're busy. We're busy right now. We'll get back to that when this is over, but no, not right now, buddy.
I like that you buried the lead.
I love that collectively as a society we were like, oh, are there aliens? Okay, anyway. Like, and then we just went right back into our trauma. We're like, oh, we need groceries. Like, I love that. I love it. They really thought we were stupid. What'd you say? Hang on, your sound went way down. You're like really quiet. I mean, it's like I can barely hear you.
Hear me at all? Still can't hear me?
I see little sounds. I see your little mouth, and then I see little.
Nothing, huh? I don't know why. Just go up. I don't know. It's being really weird. Try again. Okay. Test. Test. Test, 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 test.
That's definitely better.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh yeah, sort of. Yeah.
Okay, better?
Yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
I have no idea what just happened, but we're gonna have to splice that in and just get out that last part was brought to you by mimes. We're no longer using them. Okay. And of course, she keeps jumping up on me.
Oh, who's she?
That is Makita, and she's being a pain in my butt. She's like, oh, I want attention right now.
Now, see, Josh, this is a new look for you. This whole situation you've got going on.
Yeah, well, I'm at home and chilling out. I'm not, when I'm on stage, I always wear black because, I'm fat. So, they say black slimming. They're lying, but they say it. They do say it.
They say it. It's been said.
It's not true, but.
Well, I don't know. Maybe if you let some of this fly, nobody would notice.
Well, last time I did that, it was paparazzi, and I had nothing but interviews, and I don't want the headache anymore.
Is this all military, like tats?
Oh no, I'm covered.
Oh my God.
And there and all around. Yeah, covered.
It's so roughneck looking.
Well, I was a roughneck.
Were you? Were you bad?
I was. I military. That's what happens. That's what happens. So where can people go to look up information on Mandee McKelvey?
So I only have one thing, very simple. I have a Facebook page, a comedy page for Mandee McKelvey. Mandee with 2 E's, McKelvey, McKelvey. Pretty much like it sounds. Sadly, like it sounds. Too phonetic, I would say. And so, I put stuff there. Like we rescheduled my weekend in South Bend for the end of June, but who knows, right? We don't know if it's going to happen. It may not happen. So as things, as things open back up, because at this point clubs aren't even open. So, when clubs open back up and they start figuring it out, then I'll start, posting dates again. I've got my my live performance of my erotica on there. If you're a fan of flicking your lady bean, or you just like grotesque interpretations of sexual activity, because clearly these are things written by a person who's never had a serious moment with her clothes off. They're not, I don't know, I just love, I really love erotica. I really love it, but I love it because it's so descriptive and silly and weird, and it's and I just love inserting absurdity into that, because I love how over the top erotica is, and because they're always in some place and there's always these circumstances, and I just love adding ridiculous levels onto that. So you can see my porn there. It's fantastic. It's one of my favorite things I've done. Watch my porn. And then I'll post some dates there. But yes, since I have been, everything except for the drop has been canceled through at least the end of August.
Yeah.
I've done a few group, little group comedy situations. But I don't see how they would be fun for the viewer. They seem like they're kind of only fun for just the comics and the camaraderie of it, just to help each other feel a little more normal and to maybe punch up a joke or something. But I don't have any of the things that I'm doing on live chats or Zoom or anything that I feel is oh, you should see this. It's life is hard enough. You don't have to watch me and my friends, poorly lit, screaming into our computers at each other. I did not have the video or the sound system for this prior to this. So I'm not, none of us were set up appropriately to be able to do the quarantine videos that we need to be doing.
You're not kidding me. I'm using my wife's camera right now. My camera I ordered like a month and a half ago, and it still hasn't come in.
Really?
Yeah.
I heard like podcast equipment was sold out, which makes sense. I mean, it's what else are you gonna do?
I mean, all my podcast equipment is actually at Comedy Off Broadway.
Is it?
And I'm not going to drive to Lexington just to drive. And B, I'm not going to bother Jordan. Hey, can you come in so I can get all my equipment? No, screw that. Just, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not going to bother the guy. This sucks enough for comedy store owners.
Do you ever have to leave the house?
Yeah, I'm like, my wife's got she's got some underlying conditions where I don't want her in the middle of all that. So I'm the only one that goes. And my daughter's too, so I don't want to bring anything home. So I'm always masked up. Yeah, dude.
Oh.
And so I don't want to bring anything home. So I'm always masked up. But like with first week, I with gloves, everything when I was going out. This guy called me ridiculous. He said, "Man, you're just ridiculous." And I was like, "Well, I'll live my life. You live yours." For
right.
Left of yours.
Right.
I'm not getting.
Who's laughing now?
Right. I'm not gonna get sick. I'm not bringing that home to my family. That's crazy.
No. It does scare me. Like my brother still takes his children to see my parents, and that scares the shit out of me because they're in their 70s. They smoke their whole lives. Like they're very vulnerable, and I just think it's too much. Like you can go for a few weeks without seeing mom and dad. Like
yeah, I mean, or because I what's it called? I FaceTime with my sister who's in North Carolina. My mom is in Florida. My other sister lives here in Kentucky, so but she actually is a nurse, and she's been traveling to West Virginia to be a nurse out there.
Oh.
Yeah, she sent me a picture of her at work. It's mask, goggles, it's like face mask thing. Like because she's OBGYN.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So she's catching babies in the middle of all this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, cannot imagine that right now because those babies are coming, COVID or not. Holy crap.
And I guess that's what that generation is going to be called. Covennials.
They are going to be covennials?
Covennials. Poor little thing.
Shit. That's awful.
Well, Mandy, it's been great having you on.
Well, thanks for having me. It's nice to get some human interaction.
Absolutely. That's why I'm doing these things, reaching out to all my friends in comedy and just hoping that we can lift each other up and make each other laugh a little bit and give some information, our perspective on this whole pandemic.
I know. You remember that time I was funny?
You are funny.
You remember where I was on stage and everybody was like, and I was doing it, and I was doing it good for a long time. I just wanted to see if you remembered.
I do, and you'll be fine. It's like riding a bike. You're gonna get on stage. You might skin your knee a couple times, but you'll be all right. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna close this thing out for Mandee McKelvey. I'm Josh Sardam. We'll see you guys next time.
Hey guys, I hope you liked the video, and if you like the show, make sure you throw a like down there somewhere. There should be a like, and there's a subscribe button over here.
And hit the bell.
Yeah, ring the bell, and check us out, man. Stay in touch with us. We're always putting out videos every week, and it should be a lot of fun, right?
Write us a letter.
Right as rain. Right as the mail. Thanks, guys. Yeah, that should work.